What happens when you invest so much into your artwork? Took you perhaps more than a year for a solo show. You poured your heart and soul into this body of work and nothing comes out of it. And not just that, capital, you put materials, shipping, framing, you name it. There's so much money that goes into making art, and then it comes to nothing. No sales, or very little sales. Not that that's everything. Of course, obviously not. But come on, let's be honest for a moment. Unless you're living under a rock or disconnected from reality, you have no need for money, you don't pay any bills. We live in a capitalist society. Like it or not, as artists, we have to adapt to the system. We have to pay our bills. And if all of a sudden you see that your work is not selling, you start to question yourself. But what if, on top of that, almost no one goes to your show? Or very little people notice? It just vanishes into oblivion. What do? How do you deal with that? Even though you're not looking for it, it's there in the back of your head. It's there subconsciously operating behind the scenes. It's something that's there. We don't talk about it. But everyone longs for some sort of recognition for their work. It's human nature. And it doesn't have to be art. It could be any type of job you do. Something that fills you with a sense of purpose, of meaning. That's why you always have to train your mind to don't rely on people's opinions. When you decide to take that first step into studying art and becoming an artist, a serious full-time artist, you know it's not going to be an easy road ahead, and it's going to be quite lonely as well. But with that said, once you experience success, so when you experience that good wave, you're riding this good wave year after year, when people start seeing the value in your work, you get offered shows at museums and you start to see some degree of stability. It's never going to be 100% stable, but you feel like you can do this. You got this. And year after year, it sustains. When there's a bad year, that can be really, really tough and make you question your decisions. Because, as I said, this is a lonely path. It's the path of the hermit. If there's an archetype that I feel goes well with the artist, it's the hermit. Let me tell you, people might praise the artist, might say, oh, your work is great, but you are always going to be constantly doubting yourself. You're your own worst critic. It's very hard to get off of that mentality, that mindset that is just dragging you down. You are your worst enemy. You auto-sabotage yourself with your mind alone. Like, this is not good enough. This is not good. And other people might think otherwise. Then you ask yourself, now what? Or what's next? Right? You always have to keep upping your game. We're in this crazy rat race. And it's just insane. What's the end point? You have to be very clear why you're doing this. You didn't become an artist to make lots of money. We all know the story. Starving artists. You're not going to be able to make a living out of this. You're crazy. You're going nuts. What are you smoking? You did this because you felt an urge to tell your story. Because you deeply, passionately believe in this. You love the craft. And you cannot see yourself doing anything other than this. That's when you know this is the path. Even if you go through a rough patch, you'll get through it. On second thought, maybe the full archetype might be the best way to describe an artist. Tienes que estar medio loco. Because you must be a little crazy to go into this thinking that you're going to make a living out of this. In the traditional sense, of course, it's so unconventional, so radically different from every other job. It's just defies logic and common sense. So you might say that the artist is kind of foolish. But that's exactly why you need to really cultivate inner resilience, not care what others say. Stick to your principles, stand your ground, do your thing. They're gonna call you many things, but you forge your own path. Eventually, maybe someone might feel inspired or motivated by what you're doing, might feel moved by your work, and it might do something to the world. But it's not, and it should never be, your goal to change the world, because you're going to be so disappointed with such an indifferent world right now, especially now, that I would rather suggest make it a goal to know yourself and to cultivate that inner artist and be the artist you want to become. Make artwork that you want to have. The true motivation for making art should not be about making money or becoming popular and getting all these likes on social media. No, it should be about something much deeper. We lose that sense in this modern social media driven society. It's all about what the algorithm is recommending you, right? No, we lose sight of what really is meaningful. This exhibition I had at Evo Contemporary in October 31st, man, Mitos y Memorias. What can I say? I put my heart and soul into this work. I gave this work my best, my very best. I invested all the time and effort that you can expect from this kind of work. Man, sometimes art doesn't pay off, and you have to be okay with that. Move on. Don't quit. Don't fill your mind with all these self-doubts, these questions. It's okay to question what you're doing when you're not selling your work, but don't rely too much on the market. The market is deceiving. People might be into some sort of trendy art out there, and that's fine. That's the market. That might be the direction of the market. That doesn't mean that you have to follow that same direction. You don't have to follow the direction that is guided by your own principles. Follow your heart. You just have to trust yourself. I know I'm saying this, and I believe me, I'm saying that to myself, because it's really hard when you don't get anything out of putting so much. Like you would expect, after putting so much work, so much attention, so much time, so much effort, so much money into a project, that you get some returns. But when it doesn't bring anything at all, it's just, man, it's just frustrating and depressing. I must admit it. It's quite depressing and defeating. You feel defeated. I feel defeated. But that's the moment that you have your reset and reestablish your aims, your goals, and have some time to do some introspection and look inside within yourself. Like, okay, I've been doing this for some time, so I know my craft. I know my work. I know where it's come from. I know it's come a long way. I know it's not perfect by any means. I know it could get better. The direction where it can go, who knows? And that's the exciting part, because it doesn't have to be a straight line into the future where you can predict where it's going. No, it's an exciting new horizon that opens up new dimensions, new possibilities that you're just like, wait a minute, where can this go? And if it's exciting, and if it's alluring, and if it's something that's captivating your attention and your curiosity and sparking that creative spark, that's the way forward. That's the way you have to go. It's not if it's like, oh, I already know how to do this, I'm going to keep doing it because it's selling. No, that's when it goes wrong. That's when you know you're obeying or following the market, not following yourself, not following your principles, not following that internal creative compass that you should listen to, that inner child. You're not listening to it. Listen to that little guy who's telling you, this excites me, this is something that I love, I would love to experiment with, so I'll do it. I have a word of advice For you, never have an opening on Halloween night. That's a complete disaster. It's something that I'll never forget. More kids coming to my house, ringing the bell for trick-or-treating than actual people at my show, at the opening. And I'll never forget that. I just had to laugh. Never schedule a show opening on a holiday weekend. Say Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, whatever it is. Avoid those dates because those are lethal. And my show, I'm going to be pretty honest with you, very blunt, and I'm not going to hide the fact that I feel like it was a disaster. I can't deny that it just is disappointing. It has nothing to do with the gallery, nothing to do with the art, nothing to do with, let's say, the work itself or me or having, it was all the timing. It was all about timing, I believe. At least that's what I'm trying to get myself to believe it is. Because, of course, there's a slippery slope onto these self-doubts, insecurities, and stuff that might just go in there. Those inner demons that every artist has in their own mind. What if the art, if it's really bad? What if I just messed up? What if this is not the way? Tell you what, if it's coming from the heart, if it's honest, if it's genuine, if it's something that you really feel that you had to say, something that you had to take out of your chest, and it was just direct and from the soul, guess what? You're on the right path. Maybe you're ahead of your time. Maybe you're behind the years. Maybe it's not connecting with the people. Maybe the audience is not ready for that kind of work. But you have to forge your own path and keep moving forward. The world is a crazy, cruel, indifferent place. People are glued to their phones. They don't care about art as much as they used to, or at least that's what I'm getting the sense of. They are just mindlessly scrolling down all this AI slop on their phones. The doom and gloom, perpetual scroll of the news, funny videos that don't really edify or do anything to enlighten you anyway. Just have just a laugh, a gig, that's it. And then next day you forget about it. People are just so immersed and so ensnared by the algorithms that they forget about the little things. They just don't pay attention to the things that really matter. Not just art. Talk about nature, people around them, their pets, their environment, themselves. They forget who they are. And that's why it's so important to disconnect from the social media algorithms that is all driven by popularity contests and likes and what people think and the opinions of others. But in reality, it's not the opinions of others. It's what the algorithm tells them or recommends them to look at. And if the algorithm pushes your content to a larger crowd, there's a more likelihood that you're going to get more likes. So don't be deceived by that. Doesn't mean you put your artwork out there in social media and doesn't get enough likes, or your work doesn't get much attention. It's not always the people not getting to the right crowd. Perhaps it's the wrong venue. Perhaps it's the wrong platform. The algorithm is not pushing it. Just turn it off. Disconnect it. Delete the app. Heck, why not delete my account? What is it doing for you? Is it doing anything? Really, you have to ask yourself, is it doing anything good for you lately? Have you felt any surprising, inspiring idea? When was the last time? Let me ask you this. When was the last time that you found something on Instagram or Facebook? You found something on Facebook, let's say Facebook. I'm taking it on you, Facebook. Instagram, we'll leave it there for a while. Because on Instagram, I do find some inspiration here and there. Some really good artists, and they're putting so much work and doing these demos and these time-lapse painting processes. I love those, and I'm okay with that. I get a lot of inspiration from that. But let me ask you, when was the last time you got some inspiration, some great idea, or something that elevated your spirit from Facebook? Come on, let's be honest. I want to hear you. From Facebook, an ad just telling me to buy this product. Come on, you're better than that. Don't be fooled by these algorithms. You don't need these. These machines feed on our attention, and our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And that's really dangerous. That's very concerning. I'm very concerned as an artist myself because I see that affecting me, and I don't want to have any part of that. And I'm not even on TikTok. Don't get me started on that one. But here on YouTube, at least those who appreciate long content format and can spend some time listening to another human being rant or talk about these issues that all affects us all, well, here we are. We have to stick together, find people who have common interests, and I hate the word community because I feel like it's deceiving. It's really not a community, but it's a sense of like belonging, if you will, and people can connect that way, even though we're in different parts of the world, or maybe here in the US, whoever's watching, and you feel identified and you feel like this is what's happened to me as well. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear that. It's just something that I feel like, man, we waste so much time on these social media platforms when we can be doing much better things, doing creative stuff, painting, drawing, journaling, writing, talking to a friend over the phone, give them a call, go out for some coffee, go check out a show at an art exhibition. No, heck, no one's even going to the movie theaters. That's so sad. Times have really changed, and man, I don't know what to say. Just keep going on, keep making art. Try to stick to long format, have long conversations. Try to read a book from beginning to end. Just go into it, have a moment, an hour, 30 minutes a day, meditate, prayer. Be for just one moment alone with yourself, with your thoughts. I know it's easy to say, it's so hard to do. You get distracted, you get carried away by your thoughts, but just think about it. Have that very little moment in the day, during the day, where you can be at peace with yourself without a screen, without the help or assistance, which is really not that helpful, of AI or social media or Google. Put that away. Put that to the side for just a moment and make art. Even if it's bad, even if it sucks, it's yours and it's your moment. It's your time. And you find fulfillment in that. You find meaning. You find yourself. Anyway, those are just some thoughts that I have in my head, and I feel like we have to, in order to not be affected by that, we really have to create an inner fortress where we are sustained not by the opinions or recognition of others or institutions or whatnot, but by our own convictions. We really have to be convinced that this is the way and that there's no other way, no matter what people tell you or not tell you or ignore you. Doesn't matter. You keep moving in the direction that you know you need to move on to. I appreciate those who are watching. Thank you. And thank you for commenting and being a participant in this conversation. I would like to hear your stories. If you're feeling some of the same struggles or doubts as artists, I feel you. I'm with you. Believe me, I am with you. I've been doing this for over 20 years already. I've seen my ups and downs. I've seen the artwork do very well at art galleries, and then all of a sudden I pop out a museum show, which is always great. And then there's other years when nothing comes out of it. But that is the moment when you have to double down double down on your work. Double down on what you know works for you. Now, what you know feels right. If it feels honest, if it feels like it's pure, it's coming from deep inside of you, and you need to take it out of your chest and just put it out there, whether in a painting or a sculpture, a drawing, a piece of music or poetry, whatever it is, do it and don't doubt yourself. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little longer than usual, but this is something that I just had to take it out of my chest, share it here with all of you. And until next time, peace.